The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal name. These are the opening lines of Laozi's Tao Te Ching, and where we'll be starting our final video of this series, diving into the Taoist pyramid verse and how it relates to the concepts of the wounded healer, and working our way out of chaos back into the Tao. So, one more time. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal name. Well, right there, the first line, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. So, Laozi was asked to write this book, asked to write a book explaining the Tao. And he starts off that way and then proceeds to write an entire book explaining what the Tao is, even though he says the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The Tao is full of contradictions, but not in a way that is necessarily harmful. It's more in a way for you to better understand all the different aspects of life, and how there is no one way of being. There's no one way of living in the Tao. There is not a cookie cutter approach. There's not, you must work this job, you must be this, you must act this way. The only thing that the Tao really asks of us is to live authentically, to not cause harm, and to be an example for the world. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal name. There's another verse that goes, naming is the origin of all particular things. That's kind of the follow-up line of the Tao that can be named is not the eternal name. And to really understand that, we must understand that naming is something we do as humans, right? We have to identify things and name things for us to get a better understanding of them. But to really understand the Tao, we must remove that aspect of things and just be able to sense and feel that something is in alignment with the Tao. And this phase we call the wounded healer phase, right? So this is what we've been leading to the whole time, is working our way up from the wounded one up to the wounded healer, from chaos up into the Tao. And we ended last week speaking on the wounded guide phase, how it is our duty to be, or as the Tao says, a bad man is a good man's job, right? It's our duty to help others and guide others through our actions. And now we're starting to move into living in accordance with the Tao, which is all about living effortlessly. And starting to see through the contradictions and through the duality of the world, and beginning to see all things as part of the Tao. The Tao also says, do you think the world can be changed? I don't think it can. Because it tells us in the Tao Te Ching that trying to change the world is not the way of the Tao. The Tao can exist within any direction the world goes. And I'm going to read another verse here. This is just the second verse. And we're only going to read these two because you'll understand enough of what the Tao means once you grasp this concept. So when people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and not being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore, the master acts without doing anything. Things arise and she lets them come. Things disappear and she lets them go. So as I've been saying, this is about being able to live within the world, yet hold to the center. To not be pulled one way or another. Like we said in The Wounded Alchemist, this isn't about left or right. This is about loving all beings for what they are, and also loving yourself for what you are, and being effortlessly yourself, being completely authentic and finding your individuality. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. We can learn a lot from that, because the more we keep trying to get things done, the more we keep trying to change things, the more things fall into chaos, right? That's putting us right back into the shadow side of the Wounded Alchemist, right? Where we start to push our sense of morality onto others. We start to push the way we feel about things onto others, what makes us happy onto others. And the Taoist doesn't do that. The Taoist teaches people how to live, how to find peace within themselves by living in that peace themselves. You know it when you meet someone who is completely authentically themselves. You know, someone who makes you feel at home and able to be yourself, who loves you for you, doesn't try to change you, who all of your imperfections, as we might put them, or all of your little quirks, they love them. That is the Tao. The Tao doesn't try to change anything. It just leads by example. And our example of the Tao is nature. If we follow nature, we can't be led astray. Because nature will always triumph. We see it now. The way nature has fought back. The way nature has adapted to the things that we have done to this world. You know, you see it when we build a city and then it gets abandoned, and nature flourishes and overtakes these buildings and finds ways to rise up through the concrete and rise up through the bricks and the layers of everything that we put down and we built. Nature will also always pursue, because nature follows the way of the Tao. Man follows the earth. The earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. That is our job. This is going to be a short video because the more I talk about it, the more you won't understand. When nothing is done, Nothing is left undone. So with that, this is the last video in the series. There will be another series coming in the beginning of the new year at some point that we are putting together. I won't go into too much detail for that, so stay tuned. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, follow us on Instagram, the Wounded Healer Network. Follow me on Instagram, Eric Good the Healer. I really, really appreciate all of you who have been watching and following us and, staying in tune with our message. Please, if you ever have questions, if you ever need guidance, reach out. We're not here to try to get followers. We're not here to build a cult. You know what I mean? We're a couple of people who were damaged, who were hurt ourselves, who were the wounded ones, who lived in chaos, made a lot of mistakes, and are still to this day working our way through these steps. Every day is a new challenge. We're just normal people. And all we want to do is show you that being normal is okay. You don't have to strive to be some sort of ascetic, meditating in the woods and, shutting off the world. That's not what this is about. You can still live in the world and find peace. You just have to find it within yourself. So with that, wholeness, I hope everyone has a great holiday, and I look forward to speaking with you in the new year, year of the horse.